Hello world, Krista here with Books and Jams, and today I'm going to give you part 2 of the library book sale haul. All the books I got from local library book sales. I went to 4 of them in the last 2 weeks, and all of these up here behind me are ones that I just did in a previous haul. I will link that up above so that you can check that out and find out a little bit more about all of those. I don't tell too much about them because I don't know too much about most of them, which is going to be the same for the books that I'm going to show you now. I really went a little crazy, but altogether, as you may have heard in the last video, I spent under $40 for all of these books, which is unbelievable. So let me just jump right in with the continuation of my book haul from the library book sales. All right, I already showed you in my vlog from last week the Book of Virtues by William J. Bennett. This is a book that my parents used to read to us when I was very young, and it has just short stories and poetry based all on different virtues like compassion and honor and self-discipline and work and perseverance and a lot more. So when I saw this, I couldn't resist because it's very nostalgic for me, and I think that it is one that I would love to hopefully eventually read to future children of mine. Other books that I'm familiar with the author or already own some of these authors: Adam by Ted Dekker. As I've said before, I'm slowly collecting all of Ted Dekker's books, and some of these are particularly creepy, and I believe this is one that's particularly creepy. He started out as a Christian fiction author, but not all of his books are classified as Christian fiction, but he often deals with evil in lots of different ways. So they're super creepy, and for someone who doesn't read creepy books, I am surprised that he's one of my favorite authors. But I do enjoy a good Ted Dekker thriller. Earlier this year in my BookTuber Recommends jar, which is right here, I was recommended to read The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry by Rachel Joyce, and Maria from Read, Create, Repeat Homeschool is the one who recommended this to me, and I don't really know that much about it, but if Maria recommends it, I'm gonna give it a go. And it's not super long, and I believe it's about a grumpy old man. Maybe not a grumpy old man, but an old man nonetheless, and I am looking forward to someday getting to this book. I am collecting this editions of Jojo Moyes books. So this one is The Last Letter from Your Lover, and I don't know anything about it except that it's set in 1960, so it's a touch of historical fiction, and I'm looking forward to that. I have heard so much praise for this book, Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I'm hoping to get to Little Fires Everywhere this month, but I was wondering if I should read this one first, but some people told me that I don't need to, even though I like to read authors in the order of how they wrote their books. So this is her debut. I believe this is about a Chinese-American family who, at the very beginning of the book, one of the daughters of this family dies. And I believe it's like the first sentence of the book, so it's not a spoiler. I am really looking forward to this book. I have The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. The only Margaret Atwood that I've ever read is The Handmaid's Tale, so I would like to read more from her. And this one won a Booker Prize at some point. I don't know anything more about it than that. I grabbed 3 nonfiction in the library book sales, which I probably should have gotten more, but I had to cut myself off somewhere. One of them is by Beth Moore, It Is So Long, Insecurity. She writes Christian living, almost self-help, but from a Christian worldview. And I have gone to a couple simulcasts where she has been the speaker, and I really enjoy the way that she teaches the Bible and talks about life. So I'm looking forward to learning about myself and reading this book. I picked up a book called First Daughters, Letters Between U.S. Presidents and Their Daughters. This is by Gerard and Anne Gawalt. I just thought this was super interesting. I just thought it would be cool to read letters from these past presidents written to their daughter, and as well the letters back to their fathers. So there's some pictures in here of both the daughters and the presidents themselves. For a lover of historical fiction, I thought this would be a fun nonfiction to read that kind of has that historical aspect to it. And the only other nonfiction I picked up is called Booksmart by Jane Mallison, and this is an essential reading list for becoming a literary genius in 365 days. What drew me to this is that for each month of the year, it gives a different topic or genre, I guess, and then some books to read within that genre. So for example, April is Top Girls, Strong Women, Admirably So and Otherwise. And it has books like Anna Karenina, A Room of One's Own, Jane Eyre, Moll Flanders, The Handmaid's Tale. all books to read within that genre. I just thought that this would be a fun, I don't know, kind of go through the year and look at whatever month we're in and pick one of those books to read to become a literary genius, right? Who can resist that? And then for each book, it gives just a little introduction to the book and why that is a book that is recommended to read and how that should help you grow in your literary prowess. The next stack I have is ones that I don't really know that much about at all. This first one is actually from a yard sale. It was only 25 cents. The Bride of Her Life by Lorna Seilstad. I don't know how to say that last name. This is about a girl at the beginning of the 19th century who is a widow, has been widowed for 3 years, and her in-laws kind of help her to find a new job. And at her new job, she meets this handsome stranger who designs roller coasters. And it takes her on the ride of her life. I also grabbed The Ambassador's Wife by Jennifer Stile. This was actually written by an ambassador's wife, and it's set in the Middle East, which, as I said in my last haul, is an area of the world that I haven't read too many books about. It's just about the clashing of cultures, but also friendships that she makes with some Muslim women. And she is an artist or a painter. She is teaching these women how to paint and how to draw, which is forbidden to them at this time. So it's just about friendship and love and that clash of cultures, and it just sounds interesting to me. Cecilia Ahern is an author that I've heard of before, but I've not heard of this book called Thanks for the Memories. It's about this woman who's in an accident and she begins to have deja vu, but about situations that she knows she's never experienced before. She thinks she's going a little bit crazy, but is she? It just sounds like a fun read. I picked up a thriller that I don't really know that much about, which is good because you shouldn't know that much about thrillers. This is by Sophie Hannah, and I've heard her name as being popular among thriller mystery readers. So I haven't read anything by her, but this is called Woman with a Secret. This is about a woman who has a family and obviously keeps some secrets from them, but I guess she shares these secrets with someone that she's maybe met online or something. It's not someone that she knows in person, but then she gets arrested for the murder of a man that she doesn't know, and all of these secrets play a part in that. So yeah, it was in gorgeous condition, and I've heard this name before, so I thought I would grab this one. All right, the last stack here is all historical fiction books. Daisy Goodwin, she is the author of The Fortune Hunter, which is her more recent book. The blurb on the front says, anyone suffering Downton Abbey withdrawal symptoms will find an instant tonic in Daisy Goodwin's deliciously evocative novel. I'm a big fan of Downton Abbey, so I thought I would pick this one up. The Very Thought of You by Rosie Allison is a coming-of-age novel with a little bit of romance in there. I've seen this one a little bit around, this is pretty recent, the summer before the war. I was very thrilled to find this for just $2. This is about a woman in England before the start of World War I. The Last Runaway by Tracy Chevalier. This is the same author of The Girl with the Pearl Earring. It's about a Quaker girl from England who moves to Ohio and ends up getting involved with the Underground Railroad. So that all sounds like a good mixture of something that I would definitely like to read. I grabbed A Sound Among the Trees by Susan Meisner, and this is about a Southern girl who ends up being a Civil War spy for the North, which is a kind of betraying her roots. But the blurb on the front says, a lyrical tale of love, loss, forgiveness, and letting go, a book you don't want to put down. And all of those, love, loss, forgiveness, and letting go, and Civil War, historical fiction. I'm in for that. I grabbed America's First Daughter by Stephanie Dre and Laura Kamoe. It's about Thomas Jefferson's daughter, Patsy. This takes place while she is in Paris, France at the beginning of the French Revolution. So a little bit of American history and French history all combined into one. Sounds good to me. Finally, I have The Secrets of Mary Bowser by Lois Levine, and I believe I just saw this morning, hauled by April from Getting Hooga With It. So April, we are on the same wavelength because I also just hauled this from the library book sale last weekend. And this is based on the true story of Mary Bowser, who was born into slavery to a family in Richmond in 1846. And the daughter of that family sends her away to be educated in Philadelphia. So in the North, she obviously has her eyes opened to a different way of life and also gets educated, and she ends up joining the abolition movement and goes back to Virginia, which is against the law at the time, to care for her ailing father. But then while back in Virginia, She poses as a slave in the Confederate White House to spy and to get information about Jefferson Davis. This all just sounds right up my alley. So there you have it. I am not gonna hold these up, but with all of those and all of these and less than $40, I can't go wrong. But I can go wrong in that I have no idea where I'm gonna put all these books. So I'm gonna have to find some space on my shelves. But in the meantime, I would love to hear from you if you have read any of these or if you're interested in them. As I always say, I love to chat with you down in the comments about these books and about anything else. Let's chat. I can't believe I just hauled so many books. It's kind of ridiculous. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already so that you're made aware whenever I post a new video, which will be soon. All right, I'll be talking to you in the next one. Bye.